Hello everyone. This exhibition, The Source of Gratitude, is by 3 Japanese artists. I, Kuniko Sasaki, am one of the 3. For me, art is reformation of the essential bond between myself and the universe. Through my work, I would like to express happiness given by nature and the human perception as a part of the universe. I've been making handmade paper and create art more than 30 years. I use the paper made of kozo most of my work. Kozo is a kind of mulberry and Japanese traditional paper material. This is dried kozo. I have to soak it for one night and I have to cook it for 4 hours and to make it soft. Then I wash it and clean it many times. Then pound it to make a pulp. Paper making is such a time-consuming job. This is a kozo fiber. I stretched it out like this. The fiber is robust, supple, and flexible. So I use kozo's fiber as it is for collage and installation too. You can step on it and you can chew it if you like. I was really fascinated with this material, which has 2 different characteristics. It is sometimes soft and delicate, but sometimes resilient and shows its strong life force. Kozo's paper is recyclable many times and eco-friendly for us as the tree grows well every year. I prefer to use a natural dye like a persimmon essence, indigo, blackberry, and walnut juice. The theme of this show is the source of gratitude, or IKEI in Japanese. Dr. Nakasone found this theme after seeing the essence of our works. This word has deep meanings for Japanese and describes Japanese sensibilities for nature. In traditional Japanese culture, all things in the universe possess kami, secret spirits, which gives birth to all things, including humankind. This idea gives us the senses of spiritual appreciation and respectful fear its enormous power to nature, even now. However, the reverence toward nature seems to be fading in our time. Many people are isolated from nature by losing the pure joy it brings to us. And some people feel lonely like a child separated from his or her mother by losing the intrinsic ties with nature and the universe. Rather, many people don't hesitate to destroy nature nowadays. It seems to me we have various social problems caused by this matter in this complex society. And now it is time. We have to recall the senses of IKEI. For this reason, I was inspired and motivated by this theme to create my work. Let me talk about my work one by one. The series of titled Dancing Rain are the expression of gentle and blessed rain, which gives life to all things, including humankind. I wanted to describe such rain falling as if it's dancing happily. In the title, Internal Galaxy, I mainly used persimmon essence and sumi ink. Kozo's fiber is collaged at the center. The title means a microcosm inside of self. The universe is spread in the space enormously, but we, all living things, have a huge microcosmic world internally, which spreads like a universe. And I think it is beautiful, mysterious, and orderly. I would like to describe such awareness through this piece. In the series of Whispers of Water, I played with water and sumi ink spreading on the paper as if the water is seeping into my body. I like the absorbed power of handmade paper. Mica is kneaded into the white paper, and diatomaceous earth is kneaded into the mount paper. In the piece titled Splash, I wanted to describe the powerful movement of waves, which is out of control like a flood, and frightens us like a living creature. I use silver power and sumi ink. The paper also contains diatomaceous earth and collaged with kozo fiber. In the piece titled Turbulence, I dyed this paper with a blackberry and natural indigo. I wanted to express the senses of respectful fear to nature, which is beyond man's power, like an air current, moving randomly and intensely. In such a scary atmosphere, I also wanted to put in a sense of fleeting beauty. The piece, titled Moongrass, is to describe the life force of plants. Plants are quiet and move slowly, but grow powerfully. In this piece, I also wanted to put in a sense of organic relationship with plants and humans by personifying the plants. Finally, I'd like to thank Dr. Nakasone, who worked hard for inviting us to America, and everybody who have helped us for this show. I truly appreciate your support. Thank you. As you can see, 3 of us have different art styles, although we are working on the same theme. I hope the viewers can enjoy such a difference. Thank you. Bye.
Good morning and good afternoon. My name's Waguri Kawaguchi. I'm honored to be here, one of the trio exhibit artists. The source of gratitude, IKEI, is the exhibition theme. In my daily life, I'm not wearing some kimono like this. I just wanted to match the atmosphere for this exhibit today. As an artist, I usually do oil painting, ink on rice paper, and print. IKEI to me is the feelings for the nature. In Japan, the flowers, birds, wind, and moon, and also another set, snow, moons, and flowers. Those are the very often used as a motif or the subject of the artwork, especially for fan and kimono. I wanted to take an essence of those nature and what the Japanese appreciates traditionally into the art form of fan. Let me talk a little bit about fan itself. First of all, the fan from Spain. This can be used like this and very fast, folding and unfolding. It'll set up the atmosphere of the conversation. Ladies do that, and I was very impressed.
こんなような感じでおしゃべりしているのを見たことがあります。
Then this is the Chinese fan made of sandalwood. What a beautiful, attractive smell. This aroma is created when we fan it like this.
細工がされてつなぎ合わされ、開け閉めするととても木の良い香りがします。
However, for Japanese fan, we need to use both hands, and we have to use it in a slowly opening, slowly closing fashion. When we close this fan, we have to be very careful, one folding at a time. The fan in Japan is also a symbol of good luck charm. Shape of the fan when you open, it is like it starts small and then go wide to the future. Now you know a little bit about fan. Let me briefly tell you what my artworks are about. Peacock feathers are the motif of these 3 fans. These are the small-sized ones used for tea ceremonies. The next one here, these are snow day and feather. Those are larger sized, and they are called fan for males. I put one fan, which is a very rare shaped fan. The title for this is Storm. This shape is closer to the original fan when they got started ancient time. I've shown you 6 fans so far. I had it made into the fan in the Kyoto after I worked on vase. They divide the different processes into several craftspersons' work. Each person has his or her own specialty, specific tasks. The very elaborate processes and role divisions. Now here is a set of 3 fans. I called it Galaxy. These are not made in Kyoto. It's an Edo style, and I made it in Tokyo. These fan faces are not drawing or painting, but it's a print. So I was afraid that it might not be done in the right fashion because of this unusual materials. And I was lucky. I found Hiroshi Matsui. He is the traditional craftsman of the Edo style fan making. He has taught me many things, and out of all these, he told me that Edo style is based on samurai culture and is subdued, while Kyoto style is basically the aristocrat taste, and it's a rather gaudy. I understand totally, and it was good because my artwork was just the right match for that. The galaxy, for me, is the starry night. It's a lot of depth, and it has to have the warmth of art. It was a serendipitous calling. This one is Winter Morning. Fragments of clouds, cold wintry wind, feelings for the seasons is also the time to face the nature. In the cold winter day, touch the window pane and the sharp sense of coldness runs through my body like a pain. Then there is a pieces of snow falling on my hand. My entire body and soul is facing the nature. This is everyday eternity. These are the faces of fan, and I made it in this way as an art. This is also homage to my cat. I have a cat that I owe her a lot. This work is called Toy or Toys, and Eddie Toy 2 and Eddie Temple are the ones that I am showing this exhibition. The little toys that you're seeing on this is something that my son used to play 20 years ago. The power of the craft existed, go beyond the time and make me remember things. I wanted to express the thoughts and spirit that was going beyond the time, and then it is in there floating in that space. The temple part is from Asakusa, that when I saw it, I was so impressed with the interesting, curious structure. My last explanation of my work is the series of 3 fan phase. One is in search of my guide sign, and then the other is fragment of clouds. The third one is monsoon rain. Nature sometimes overpowers us. Humans needed to just bow down and survive. Wanted to send a big cheer to the humans. Thank you for coming to this exhibit, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you for all the people who have made this possible. What I have to say is thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody. Hello, my name is Haruko Tsuji. I'm one person of a trio exhibit this time. I am currently living in Tokyo, but I was born and raised in Aizu Wakamatsu in Fukushima Prefecture in Japan. Serendipitous occurrence, this exhibit is that all 3 of us are from Fukushima. The experience 11 years ago is somewhat defining of our artwork. Reminded us loud and clear how the nature can be a source of gratitude, source of great destruction as well. As I was working with artwork for this exhibit, the theme, the nature, the 11 years ago, what happened in Fukushima never left me from my thoughts. Unprecedented tragedy happened. Many has lost everything at one instant, and many had to leave the hometown behind due to nuclear power plant incident in Fukushima. Facing this great natural disaster, many people are still suffering 11 years after the occurrence. I am keenly aware of these people's sufferings, and none other than in my own hometown. With this thought, I truly appreciate the opportunity that I am here to be able to express my thoughts and feelings and belief on my artwork. It also gives me the sense of responsibility deep in my heart. Now, please allow me to explain about my artwork briefly. My work is a print. I use copper and I use aluminum as the material for my artwork to be expressed. I would like to talk about the copper-based print work first, and then later on I will talk about aluminum-based print. In both cases, copper plate and aluminum plate, I use so-called dry point, which is that I draw on top of those plates directly. After I worked on those plates, I will print it onto the paper. The paper materials are also both Western paper and Japanese rice paper. I will talk a little bit about each of the artwork that will be exhibited this time. The first set is called Spring Water 1 and 2. This is the spring that I found in Serigaya Park, which is very close to Machida Municipal International Art Print Museum. And this museum is right next to my art studio. I had to go through this park, and at the edge of this park, there is a little spring water coming up. This was right next to the museum because museum was built around that spring so that spring will not be ruined. I wanted to take this spring as one of the theme of my artwork because it's a very charming little place and I was very attracted to the fresh air and what nature had to offer to human to restore our spirit. The next artwork, this is a water passage 1, water passage 2, water passage 3, copper plate, dry point. I draw lots of lines on the face of the plate and I place the ink on it. Then I can use that to blend. This surface for me is to create very gentle slope and surface of the rolling hills. So the next artwork is image that I have about the water, underground water that is. The body of the water is lying there, saline, beautiful, and pure. You see the white one, I call it point, where the ink was not used. And this is something that I'm totally attracted to, the space like this, that no ink, no work is done, it's there. For the same reason, my artwork in general have a lot of times I express my feelings like that in this yohaku, the undisturbed space. These three artworks are similar in a way, but for me, each has a specific individuality. One, I place it on the panel. The other, I will put it into the frame. And then the other still is in a box. I would like the viewers to see the differences, what it has to say to you, depending on how I'd exhibit those artworks. This piece, I named it Fluffy Glass. This is the way how I appreciate the fall. Currently is the season of fruit and nuts. Nature gives us some spherical things to us with the power of plants. When you look at it, you will feel the energy of the fall. I wanted to express that with this piece. These pieces are, I call it sky and soil, and then mountain ridge. Soil for me is just giving me a lot of time, reminded me of the ancient time. So the soil has been there, storing the time. I wanted to express all those feel for the soil of the nature. Mountain ridge is the skyline of the mountain. It's cloudy and the ridge was not sharp. This is lotus seeds. I have a friend in Nara. I have visited her and we went to ancient temple in Nara. There very often the Japanese temples have a lotus flower ponds, and sure enough we picked up some seeds of the lotus. They were half sort of rotten, but they had so much power of the nature showing. I was totally charmed by the forms. These are the last exhibit that I could explain to you today. Cloud and Mitsumata. Both of these pieces, cloud and then also flowers of Mitsumata, I named it Mitsumata flower, I used aluminum plates. Again, this is a dry point, but then I cut off this form and then I used it like this, the very thin plate. What I like about this method is that the plate is extremely thin, so I can cut up into any interesting shape, and then also I can change the positions to see what I like best. The word Mitsumata is a name of the plant. I happened to find it on the park nearby. I liked the flower, which is subdued and looking down like a little bell, and come to know that this is actually the Japanese rice papers material, Mitsumata. Once I know that I like it better, I visited many times and I created this art. This is the end of my talk about my artwork, but I would like to say the last words. The many people have helped us to make this trio exhibit possible. I truly appreciate everybody's help, especially Dr. Ron Nakasone with the wonderful theme. Thank you also for the viewers of this video. Thank you.
ありがとうございました。